Hello, good afternoon. This is Kelly from Kelly's Coffee and Crime Chat. Okay, I am here to give you another true crime case. I am drinking Java Mama Jingle Bell Java. Actually, I already got done drinking it because it's in the afternoon. But that is my favorite Christmas coffee from Java Mama. But we do have a few new ones. The gingerbread house is awesome. I have not tried some of the other new ones, but there's a sugar cookie that we have, and so many different good ones. But I wanted to announce that I'm now probably going to go to one episode every 2 weeks, because one episode a week I've been doing that for close to 2 years. Wow, I can't believe it's been 2 years. But I'm getting to where I'm having a hard time finding cases that I haven't done and that are not overdone, because I like to do ones that are not overdone. And I like to stay around the middle of the United States, around the Midwest area, if I can. So if anybody has any suggestions, please throw them my way. And I am still doing the 3 bonus episodes for Patreon. I still have to do the first one for December. I need to figure out what I'm going to do for that. But thank you everybody for joining me, and thank you everybody for your support, your reviews, everything. Okay, my sources today are theCinemaholic.com and ID's Murder Comes to Town. Okay, I'm not in my regular room again because I'm trying to get very, very comfortable here. Okay, here we go. Melissa White. She was born in 1972. And she was an artist. Now, she was from Viola, Illinois. Viola, Illinois is a very small town. This is like between Des Moines and Chicago. It is very small. So everybody knows everybody. I think they said on Murder Comes to Town that it was 1 square mile. That was Viola, Illinois. Melissa was an artist who went on to get a degree in art at Minnesota State University. She had plans to leave, but then she ended up coming back to Viola. Now, she was married. She had a 6-year marriage, where she had 1 son in 2005 and 1 daughter in 2006. Like I said, the marriage lasted 6 years. She was a single mom of 2. Melissa White's son, and I don't even think I got their names, the boy and the children. But the boy found his mom. Now, this was the night, October 21st, 2011. So he was only 6 at the time. And if my, math is correct. So he found his mom. Her son found her laying outside, out the back door, with a big gash to her head. She had went outside. This was October, so she went outside to pull the plants in because of frost. And he went out to find her because she had not come back in. And then he ran to a neighbor who called 911. And this was at 8:10 at night. So when the police got there, it looked like she had just had an accident, like she had fallen and hit her head. But then they noticed there was blood splattered on the side of the house. And it knew, like where she was laying, it just looked like she was laying on the ground and it looked like blood had splattered up. So they knew that this was not an accident. They went inside, searched inside the house, but they didn't see evidence of a break-in. Now, they did find 1 bloody fingerprint, which they tested, and they had to wait, of course, for the testing to come back. So while they were waiting, they found out that Melissa had a boyfriend named Sean, and she babysat his daughter, and that's how they met. So they went to question him. He said he saw her that night, and he was at work. He was like a mechanic or something, so he had a uniform on. Well, he saw her that night, but he said they left. She had left, and when he got home, she was babysits her. And somehow her mom was with her at the time. And I didn't get the whole story about the mother being there, but the mother was there. So he did have the mother as a witness that, they did leave. He got they took his uniform for evidence that he wore to work. Meanwhile, Melissa was in critical condition at the hospital, so she had not died at this time. So the police went to her mother and started talking to her about everything with Sean, and everything checked out with that. So her mom started talking to him. The police started questioning her about her ex-husband. Now, her ex-husband's name was Pete. And her mother told the police that Pete had had a very serious drinking problem since the divorce. And he lived in Aledo, Illinois, and that was about 10 minutes away. So they went to question him at his house. Now, he said that Melissa's mother never liked him. And he was home all night that night watching television. They bring up Sean, and he even said Sean would never, ever do this to her. He would never do anything to her. And he tells them to find out about a guy who lives across the street from Melissa. His name was Dan Smith. They asked for his DNA, and he voluntarily said, "Oh yes, take." So they swabbed the inside of his cheek. He gave his DNA. Everything was fine, and they went to find this Dan Smith, because Dan Smith stole a skid loader worth $40,000, and Melissa knew about it. So, and he also did not have a good reputation. Police found out from his neighbors that Dan was not home when they went to question him. Well, he was not home when they went to question him, and they found out some stuff from his neighbors that he was always home. And it's very strange that he was not home. He was always home, and he was very loud. Him and his friends would run up and down the road in their cars. They were just loud. In the meantime, Melissa White passes away, and this was 3 days after the attack. The testing on the bloody fingerprint came back. Someone named Pamela Langley, she was the neighbor who came over to help and gave her CPR the night that her son, went to her to tell her to call 911. That's whose fingerprint it was. So that was a disappointment. They went back to Dan Smith's place to question him. He said he was out with friends. They went to haunted houses around town because here it is, Halloween, and they were gone. They went miles away. And he was agitated, and he refused his DNA at first. And then they said, well, we can go down to the station and take it, or we could take it here. So he went ahead and gave his DNA. There was still no murder weapon found. So a search party was formed. Town volunteers, a lot of them, dozens of them. One guy, when they were all searching, and they did not expect to find anything. They went over such big, areas of land, and it was like a needle in a haystack. It's like, how are you going to find anything? Because it's like a farming community. And there was one guy who just happened to find a crowbar with blood and blonde hair still stuck on the crowbar. They took it, they went and looked for, of course, they took it to get tested. And then they went onto Melissa's social media, and they found a couple guys that she was chatting with, but they were cleared. Nothing was traced back to a suspect from the crowbar. How is that possible? So they're back to square one. I did not get that. You would think that would have been the one thing with the blood on it and everything but I guess it was just from Melissa that was on the crowbar. I mean, yeah, I guess if they wore gloves, they wouldn't. And they were very careful, I guess. But so the police went to give polygraphs to the three men. Sean, the boyfriend, passed with flying colors. They went to Dan Smith. He was getting very irritated during the questions. Like, I don't know why I have to do this, and blah, blah, blah. It's like, just answer the questions yes or no. Believe it or not, he passed. Now, they went to the ex-husband. Pete refused to take a polygraph. Now, some people don't take a polygraph because they don't trust him, which I get that. I do. I get that. But he refused. He wasn't going to take it. So I guess, you don't force somebody to take a polygraph. 1 year later, the police find Pete drink. Now, a year has passed since she has been attacked. And police find Pete drinking and driving a lawnmower down the road. He had repeated DUIs, and even though a lawnmower isn't like a car, it's still a motorized vehicle. And he was driving while he was drunk, and he got 4 years in jail, or prison, I should say. 4 years in prison. His brother was in the same prison. So what they did, they monitored their conversations because they were wanting to know if Pete would actually say something about Melissa and about murdering her. So the inmates, they had inmates reporting back to the police informants, if they heard anything. More than one inmate overheard him say he killed Melissa. So they charged him. He said he'd admit it if he got a deal of 25 years. A deal of 25 years in prison. He will confess to killing his ex-wife. Now, this was a surprise to me because it showed him on the news talking about it when they were looking to find her killer, and he was crying on the news. The mother of my kids, there's no way I would do this. The mother of my kid, I don't know who would do this. And he was just crying. So this surprised me. I could not believe that it was him. I really couldn't. I mean, when you look, if you saw him on the news and you saw it, I was really in shock. And he voluntarily said, yes, take my DNA. Everything. I was really surprised. I thought something else was going to come out. It's like, wait a minute here. Why would he confess to this? Well, the family was okay with this with the 25 years as long as he confessed. And he did. He said he did not go there to kill her. But he went there to get into the garage and get some stuff out that was his. But the investigators do not believe him because who goes with a crowbar? Who goes with a weapon if you're just looking to get into the garage and get some stuff out? And he hit her in the head 8 times. And as he was hitting her, he brought that crowbar down, up and down, and that was a splatter of blood on the side of the house. So he got his 25 years in prison, no parole at all. Now, I did not get what year. Well, it was a year after this happened, so that would have been 2012, that he was put in prison for drunk driving the lawnmower. So 25 years, he's been in there at least 10 now. Wow. I don't know if I would agree with just 25 years. I don't know. This guy was very believable. I believed that he did not do it at the time when I was seeing him on the news crying, and he just did not seem like the guy. This was a shock to me. I was in shock. I guess you just never know. Even if there was somebody who you really thought it was, like Dan Smith, who wouldn't give his DNA and was arguing with the cops, and the one night he was not home, the night she got killed or attacked. This just blew my mind. I have not heard this story before, and Viola, Illinois is I mean, it's pretty far away, but a small town, something like this, I'm really surprised I have not heard about this. Just amazing. But if anybody else, and I always say, if you have heard of anything else about this case that I did not cover and I did not catch, let me know. If anybody out there has heard of this. But that is the story of Melissa White, and it is a very sad, very sad. Now these kids don't have a mother or of course a father, but it is just very sad. But I wanted to talk about it because it's one, like I said, I have not heard about this, and I know I love cases that are less talked about or less known, or ones that have been forgotten, like maybe they were big at one time way back when, and we don't hear about them anymore. And that is what I'm interested in with this podcast. So I am going to go ahead and try to go to 2 weeks for an episode. Just because I don't think my podcast is in very big demand for episodes. But if anybody has any suggestions, let me know, because that will help me a lot with getting more episodes out. I don't really like to redo ones. I mean, I would redo one that I've done before if I had a lot of new information on it. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about things I've been watching. I watched the Netflix documentary on JonBenet Ramsey. Very, very recommended. It's only 3 episodes. That case has been on so many times that I didn't even want to watch it. But somebody at work told me it's very good. I went ahead and watched it. And now I've got that case on my mind like crazy. Like, who did this? I really don't think the family was involved. I just don't think that they would have done this to this little girl. If you watch this, let me know what you think. And the ID had done a series on this that I'm watching now. And there was another suspect that they were talking about that I didn't even know was a suspect. It was some guy that shot himself. Well, they thought he shot himself. And then they think somebody shot him, and the person that shot him they think is his partner, and that there were 2 of them, him and his partner, were the ones that went in and did this to her, JonBenet Ramsey. They were going to take her for ransom. And there was a witness to this that heard him talking about, not her, but talking about a big deal going down for so many hundreds of thousands of dollars. I can't really remember how much it was. It was close to the amount that was in the ransom note. And that one sounds very likely that he could have done it. So I don't know. I'm really confused. I go to Reddit and kind of look at what people say. A lot of times I don't like to do that because so many people are saying it's the family. And I'm like, I'm one of those, I guess I'm in the unpopular opinion. I don't think it was the family. I really don't. So anyway, I've also watched, let me see, what else have I watched on Netflix? I'm trying to think because there was something else. Oh, I tried to watch, and I talked about this on the Patreon page episode. I don't know if I talked about this on the last episode. I tried to watch the latest episode of Unsolved Mysteries, and I only got the first episode. The first episode was the only one I was really interested in. I quit after I didn't even get through the third one because it was about animals, and that bothered me, and I think it's if I could say it, extraterrestrials, and then when they start getting into UFOs, that's just not my thing. It's not as interesting to me as actual true crime with Unsolved Mysteries. So I didn't really get through this season of it. I do wish they had more episodes per season, but anyway, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. I need to get some more stuff watched. Maybe I'll do that this weekend. And I forgot what I was going to say now. Get some stuff watched, and after Christmas I'll have some time off work, so I will have a lot more time to do my episodes, my Patreon episodes. There's 3 bonus episodes a month for $5. And I've had Patreon for over a year. So 3 episodes a month. and you can listen to all of them right now for $5. So have a great one, everybody. Happy first week of December is down almost. So we only have like 3 weeks till Christmas, just under 3 weeks now till Christmas. So I hope everybody's getting their shopping done. I'm an online shopper, and I always tell people, you don't know what to get me. If you don't know what to get me, you must not know where the liquor store is, because I'm very easy. So that's all for today, this week. Have a great one, everybody. Again, if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I have everything in the show notes, how to contact me, and the Java Mama coffee, I'll have that in the show notes. So have a good one, everybody, and I will see you next time.